Hi, my name's Clive Patchett, and I'm the features editor for Musical America. For our 2024 Musical America Awards, we've selected 5 unique artists, each of whom has made an outstanding contribution to their art form. In this interview, news and special reports editor Susan Elliott speaks with Anthony McGill, our Instrumentalist of the Year, principal clarinet with the New York Philharmonic and a passionate advocate for social reform. Anthony is one of the greatest musicians that we have right now. I hope you enjoy it.
First of all, many, many congratulations. I think this is just such a perfect, um, I'm just very happy that you are our Instrumentalist of the Year. As well, you should be. So,
Oh, thanks.
congratulations.
Thanks so much.
To you and to us for picking you. You are seemingly everywhere. Um, I'm just, I don't know how you manage to juggle Juilliard. Were you running the musician advancement program?
Music event.
And
Yeah.
Curtis, you're on the faculty at Curtis, right?
Yes.
And you're playing chamber music with some of the finest ensembles in the country, and you're at the New York Philharmonic, and you are an activist. How are you doing this, and where does most of your energy go?
Well, most of my it's very busy, yes, and kind of wild and crazy,
Yeah,
often. But my energy goes into everything I'm doing at in the moment. Whether that's being at MAP, as we call it, Music Advancement Program at Juilliard at 8:30 in the morning on Saturdays whenever I'm in New York, and spending pretty much the whole day there, and then performing a concert at night with the New York Phil. My energies are right where I am, and it's one thing that is interesting is that I'm kind of like when I'm just walking around just in my spare time, kind of my brain is very scattered, and I'm kind of like thinking about a million different things at once. But you have to be really present when you're teaching young people, whether it be college students or you're representing a program such as MAP or doing the job as principal clarinet of the New York Philharmonic. It doesn't matter. You have to be there for it. You have to be right there, kind of just in the moment, enjoying what you're doing, hopefully. And I do enjoy what I do, so that's a really important part of
right,
it. So
right.
that's how it managed. I mean, the scheduling of it can get a little bit complicated, especially just between my students teaching, my students' schedules at school and my teaching schedule, and what times and days I can come in and do so. But that's where it really gets the most complicated. It's just like figuring out when I can actually be present and actually be physically in a space, physically in a city to do the work.
Tell me a little bit more about the advancement program at Juilliard, because
Yeah,
that's sort of gotten much more. I mean, I know that there was a huge donation at one point, but since you've been involved, because it's been around from the early 90s or something, since you've been involved, it's gotten a lot more.
yeah, the music advancement program at Juilliard started off about 30 years ago or so
Right.
under the suggestion and guidance of Joseph Polisi, who was the former president of Juilliard. And he saw a lack of diversity in classical music and wanted to do something about it, and to bring young people into this field that we also love. And from there, it has become something absolutely spectacular and unique in the field. But it is a Saturday program now with 87 students. And it started off with like 15 or 10 or beginning
Right,
students.
right.
Now the program is kind of at an intermediate to advanced level. And we reach students all the way up to age 18, and we give them a full Saturday of full conservatory style programming. But sprinkled in there is like, what does it mean to be a musician of the world? What does it mean to be a citizen? What does it mean to care about diversity? What does it mean to be an artist in today's world? And so of course, we have chorus, orchestra, ensemble, wind ensemble, theory, ear training, private lessons, But we also have community building in the morning, one program called Morning Rally, where we get together and we discuss what does it mean to be a community? What is our culture here? What do we care about and what do we stand for? And how do you connect with others? How do you listen better? How do you communicate better? And so this is just a part of what we're doing. We also, our students also interact with our college fellows from the Juilliard School, and they play in some of the ensembles with our students as well. And so they get mentorship opportunities there and get to kind of experience what does it feel like to play next to a current student at the Juilliard College. So all of those things make for a really inspiring program. We started a summer scholarship program because we realized, just the 9 months of the school year, it's not enough to really grow as a musician. And so we give out scholarships for the students to go to summer camp. And since I signed on, as you mentioned, we received a $50 million grant to
Right.
expand our program, but also to offer more opportunity for more children in the New York area. So our program, as of last year, is tuition free for our students, which is fantastic, and it brings in so many different, so many more young people into our program, but also gives them the opportunity to really, without the burden financially of doing it. We also offer an instrument loan program for our students. So they don't have to worry about these barriers to entry in our field, which can be unbearable for some. And
Right.
we're really proud of the work that we're doing there. And I love being with the kids, with the students.
Wow. Do they all get to work with you directly?
No, I am the artistic director, so I'm not teaching lessons or anything like that. But
Yeah.
I'm just there to make sure that we're all doing the best job we possibly can to achieve the greatest heights of musicianship, but
Right.
also community in the organization. And so I'm involved in all of the different aspects of running the program and just being present for the kids when I can be in town and be there in the building. And so I'm part cheerleader, part principal, part uh, team leader,
Yeah.
part just participant in the
Yeah.
program.
Wow. That's very cool. How old were you when you went on Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood?
I went on Mr. Rogers when I was like 14 or 15 years old
Okay.
with my
So it's
brother Damari. Yeah.
the two of you went you
Oh,
with your oh, that's very cool.
yeah, yeah. We
Very-
played trios together.
The Take Two Knees video, I think you and I talked about that a while ago. But tell us, just bring us up to speed on that.
So Take Two Knees in 2020, after I witnessed the video of George Floyd, it was a reaction and a protest and a comment upon the state of our world and our society at the time, and maybe throughout all of time. But it was a call really to action as well for our
Right.
community and for others to join me in a sort of a moment where we all stand together and stand for Black Lives Mattering, but also for humanity and for peace and against violence. And at the time, of course, it was during COVID, and so many musicians and artists weren't performing and weren't doing our art. And so it was a way to be able to stand up and say, I want everybody to use your voice for good. And so that's what we did. And
Right.
so Take Two Needs started in 2020, but I feel like the thoughts and the ideas and the concepts and the passion behind it, that never stops, that never ceases. And so in many ways, I think in my own life, I have continued to try to look for ways that I can try to make a difference, try to speak up, try to bring people together to talk about important issues surrounding justice and injustice and fairness and equity. And so not just in, kind of playing a piece or saying something online, but also in what I'm doing in my daily life, or what am I doing in my professional life to try to make a difference and represent for the next generation as well.
The Anthony Davis piece that you did, and the second movement in the, what is that, a contra alto?
The contra alto clarinet.
Yeah.
Yes.
Watching you play that, I mean, it's almost as tall as you are, right?
Yeah. What a great instrument. I didn't know about this piece until I started performing it often, actually, over the last 3-4 years.
Right.
And I didn't really know about that instrument in particular. And Anthony Davis wrote this fantastic piece called You Have the Right to Remain Silent.
Right.
It's a thought-provoking work with lots of peaks and valleys, and it takes you into very strange, different worlds with the sound, but especially in that movement called Loss. The piece is based around the Miranda rights. The Miranda rights are spoken throughout the piece. And so there are many different, it's kind of like a little mini opera for clarinet and orchestra, chamber orchestra,
Right.
and Kurzweil, which is the synthesizer that Earl Howard plays. And in this movement, the sounds that Anthony allows the player to make are otherworldly, let's just say, with multiphonics and screams and scratches and growls and
Right.
these
Right.
things. But then he also goes into this more bluesy, jazzy section where it's just soulful and explains that character of what is loss, what does that mean to us,
Right.
what does it mean to
And that's
heal?
much of that is improvised, no?
Yeah. And a lot of the piece itself, I mean, in every movement, there are sections that are just improvised for longer periods of time than I've ever done, for sure. And
Wow.
that was a real, it was a real excellent, 1 second, that my lights are flickering.
There you are in the country. What are you going to do?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, there's just train. You'll hear the train pass by. Um, so this movement called Loss really deals with all of this pain, and then the sound, where I'm improvising, I can do whatever I want. It's given me so much freedom to learn as a musician and to learn what it feels like to play a work of art and have it really change, not just expressively, but also just with what notes are played every night. It depends on how I'm feeling or how I'm interacting with the orchestra or what have you. So it's a real really interesting and wonderful piece for me to be able to present now, a lot more than I've ever been able to do before.
And the orchestra gets to be, they sort of part of the libretto, are they not? When they
Yeah, they have a speaking part. They have to read through, you have the right, and there's a rhythm to these words that Anthony really dives into. There's a rhythm and obviously meaning behind the words, but to hear the orchestra say it, and then for me to respond to that
very
in
cool.
a way is it's a really great piece. Love it.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember very well that concert. Because it was followed by the John Adams Chamber Symphony, which is an impossible piece also, to some
Yeah.
degree, as I recall, as I remember.
Yeah, I
We
had to
Yeah,
jump in and sight read that piece.
really?
One of my colleagues, I wasn't scheduled to play that on a concerto date, but one of my colleagues got COVID, and I I filled in on clarinet and E flat clarinet. Fortunately, I played the E flat clarinet before with my old job in Cincinnati, but uh, yeah, that was what a great piece.
Wild. It's a wild piece. Yeah, it is a great piece. And I had no idea you were the last minute sub.
Yeah,
It's a
I
lot
think,
of work for one night, you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
Yeah. So we should wrap this up. I know you have a plane to catch as usual. So thank you so much for talking with us. And we are just grateful, I personally grateful to you for what you do as an activist and diversity development kind of person, and also as a musician. You're just pretty good.
No, thanks. No,
Yeah, I
thanks so
feel like
much.
an idiot saying that. But anyway, your
It's a real,
musicianship is unreal. It's just very, very fine.
thank you so much. No, it's a real honor. I mean, I can't tell you. Um, it just it makes me it makes me realize how much I still need to keep going, keep working, keep pushing, keep um, moving my own personal artistic needle forward and around, and to explore and to grow. And I appreciate the recognition that I should continue, which I will do.
It's not always easy, probably, when you get to a certain level and have this incredible reputation to keep moving, but you definitely are. So many congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Thank you for your interest in the 2024 Musical America Awards, and please feel free to check out the interviews with our other honorees.